Hi, I wanted to sit down and record a video to show you how to access the different elements of our Teams class. I did try to type it on an email, but it became way too long, so I think video is the way to go for this. I created a practice class to show everybody so that student names wouldn't be on it. It does look slightly different than the Teams class that your student has access to, just because there's less stuff in it, because I wasn't going to put all of our stuff in here just to show you a couple things. So when they first log on to Teams, they're going to be automatically brought to this general page of our Teams, and that's where they can see the conversation that's been going on. We have this chat bar down here. We can talk to each other, and they can see the entire conversation here. Students will see then their different channels they have available here, depending on what they were assigned to. There's might say A task, B task, C task, or D task. They will also see distance learning specials and science and social studies. So starting tomorrow, the 30th, is when our live sessions and assignments begin. Now, the previous week was all optional activities. Going forward, these are graded activities, just as if we were in the classroom. So what I want students to do first is to go to their channel, their center work channel, and I want them to go to files. This is where they're going to see everything their group needs. The first thing they should look at is the A-Task center work, and that is very similar to the choice menus that they are very used to using. Many of the students showed you the choice menus during conferences and they let you know what row they were on. This is very similar. So I created must-dos for Monday through Friday for ELA. I kept them the same every day to help students kind of get into a routine of being more accountable for their own learning on their own. Now, where they do have some choice and flexibility is the may-dos. They are required to do at least one of them per week. I gave 4 options. They can do up to all 4 of them if they like. They look a little bit different depending on the group that your student is in, but they are all here in this may-do section. Now, there are different ways to turn in this work. I tried to give a couple different options so that we could, when we're all working with different levels of technology and access. So let's talk about exit tickets. So after each daily lesson, students are responsible for doing our exit ticket assignment. And this is true for students who don't make it to the live session and watch the recording later. Everybody is required to do the daily exit ticket, and that's located under forms, and I'll show you where that is in a moment. But to turn in their work, they have a couple different options. So they can use a Word document. So if students go up here, they have access to the entire Office suite, so they'll have Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all those things right over there. So they can create a Word document for me, they can handwrite it and take a picture and send it to me, or they can type their work directly in an email and send it to me. So I did say that some of their work was located under files, and that's again on their channel right here. So when they go to files, they'll be able to see all the things their group needs. Now back to our general. For our daily lessons, there is the exit ticket that I mentioned, and that'll be here under the drop-down menu. Mondays is called the 3:30 exit ticket, and that is a Microsoft form. It's similar to Google Forms where they're asked questions and they type their response. Now, this is always technology-based. There wasn't a way for me to create different options for that. So they have that right there. Now we also have specials during school closures. Our awesome specials teachers put together a whole week's worth of activities to do. So students will click on the distance learning specials page and they'll have a folder right here that is where I put everything for the week. So they'll have PE, art, music, and media. It's just not loading right now, but there'll be a file right here that they can see. There it goes. So they can see everything for next week in this folder right in there. Now, Ms. Zhao and I tried to keep everything on Teams so students weren't having to go to all these different places. But in case they need some help remembering where all of the things are, they still have access to my Symbaloo page. So it's kyleburns.symbaloo.com. And they've used this website before. They should be very familiar with it, but it has tiles that are basically just links to all of the popular websites that we use in school. in our classes. So they've got Freckle, Prodigy, Mandarin Matrix, Office 365, quizzes, ageusd.org, Nearpod. This is AR Book Finder. So if you have a book at home and they're curious about whether or not it's an AR book, what level it is, how many points, etc., they can look it up right here. This is Newsela. This is what we use to read some nonfiction articles. And then we also have Seesaw. So students always have access here to help them remember everything. Students are actually going to have access to AR tests during school closures, which is awesome. Renaissance opened it up actually 7 days a week, so they can take tests all week long, which is awesome. So students are going to need to go to husd.org to get there. They'll select Coronado from here, which will bring them to this page. They'll select AR and it'll bring them here. One thing students do need to remember is that in third quarter, they changed our passwords for AR. Instead of a capital S at the beginning, it's a lowercase s. You can just tell your students, oh, it's a lowercase s, and they'll know exactly what you're talking about. Now, the district has set up that our first week of graded distance learning will be core subjects only to get us used to it. So for most students, that's math and ELA. For most elementary school students anyway, it's math and ELA. Now for students in the Mandarin program, our core subjects are math, ELA, and Mandarin. If students are still wanting to do some science, I did put them under assignments right here. So they have an optional science assignment. And in that assignment, let's look at it from a student view, they'll have some directions, which will be to view a mystery science presentation, and it's linked below, and then complete the fillable worksheet. So they'll go to the link attached here. It'll bring them to this page, and they'll watch this presentation about 10 minutes long. They are very familiar with mystery science, so this should also be easy for them to access. When they're finished viewing the presentation, they can click on this fillable worksheet I created right here. So students can actually just type in their answers right here. This is called a Y-frame. This is something that we use quite often in class, so this is a very familiar format to them. We usually handwrite them. Now we're typing them. So students can type their answers here, and once they save it, it comes directly to me, which is awesome. So I showed you that under the assignments file, and that's where students are going to be able to submit their center work as well. So when they click here, they will have some instructions, and it'll give them access to upload documents if they wanted to do a Word document or anything they want to do to turn in their center work to me. So I hope this was just a quick little overview of where to find information on Teams. It has taken Miss Zhao and I quite a while to figure out how to use the program, so we're not experts, but we have a pretty good idea now. We've done pretty much nothing but stare at this program for the last 10 days or so. So if you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. We are here to help you and your student through this. I can't wait to start learning with them tomorrow. This will be awesome. Have a great